Scott, this one's weird, man. Audio firm publishes PR claiming Switch 2 will release in September. Later claims it guessed. What?
Oh.
An audio electronics company claimed in a press release on Thursday that Nintendo's next console will be released in September, only to later claim it was guessing. So just like the rest of us? This is weird. Altec Lansing, a maker of speakers and headphones founded in 1927, announced that it had secured the license to revive classic gaming cheat software GameShark, now known as AI Shark. Are you kidding me?
Oh, what?
That was dumb. The PR quickly garnered attention for reasons other than its new software. However, thanks to his prominent claim on Nintendo's next console launch, according to Altec, quote, the official launch of AI Shark is planned to coincide with the Nintendo Switch 2 in September 2024, end quote. However, a spokesperson for AI Shark later walked back on the PR and claimed it was guessing about the release window. Although the company is yet to comment publicly, Nintendo's Switch successor is widely expected to launch this year. It's not clear whether Altec Lansing would be privy to the launch times of Nintendo's next console. However, VGC has reported last summer that development kits for Switch 2 were in the hands of key partner studios, with a launch expected of late 2024. VG has asked Nintendo for comment on this story. Of course, you know how that goes. Not a response, right? Nintendo shares...
No, Nintendo is a shut door.
Absolutely, yeah. Nintendo shares a hit record earlier this week, partly due to anticipation for its next console. Dr. Serkan Tato, CEO of Tokyo-based games industry consultancy Catan Games, recently predicted that the new console could launch at $400, $100 higher than the Switch launched at. And there's a chance its games could be adapted to the $70 price of PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S. According to the industry consultant, Nintendo's next console will again have portable functionality, as VGC reported last year. Dude, it sounds like VGC was already all over this stuff and all these other people are just chiming in.
Yeah, I kind of think I see what happened in the situation here. There's a whole lot of information to break down. So
weird.
Firstly, I want to stop at the $400 price tag. This is American, of course.
Yeah.
But if that is true, if that does come to fruition, well, how do we feel about the hardware? If that is true, does that mean it comes under what would be expensive because it is underpowered? That's my fear.
Yeah, well,
I would much rather have a $700 Mega Super Switch.
That's not gonna happen. Nintendo's in a sweet spot where they can undercut everybody else, right? Because they do typically gauge to the younger audience for their platforms. It is a new console. Everybody's going to jump all over it, right? We'll be there. Everybody's going to want a piece of the pie. They want to see what Nintendo's up to. What are they going to get into? But that $400 price tag, dude, I had to buy a new Xbox Series X. It was $800.
Oh, it's a lot.
Right? So I got a new Series X. My other one, it was overheating, shutting down. I did get it fixed in the end, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't have time for this. I need a new one. When I buy a new one, $800 later, right? Switch 2 is not $800, which then tells me it's not even comparable, once again, to current standards where we are in the game industry, which is just, man, I'm right there with you. I'd rather pay the $800 for a Nintendo console and just get it out of the way so they are comparable with the next gen platforms or current gen platforms. But that's not where they're at. They've never been there, right? They're always like, we'll just do our own thing over here in Nintendo world and see what happens. So go ahead.
They come in with an underpowered console once again and start off another, well, what generation are they on now anyways? Are they one full one behind? It's hard to tell anymore, but that's disappointing. And if they don't come at the premium kind of tech grade, how can they justify having the higher price tag? It is truly, if that is again the case, I think that's truly just to gouge my generation of 30-somethings that you can sell nostalgia to over and over again.
And I don't want it. Dude, I'll be honest, I don't want that crap. Give me some new stuff. I want to see what's the next Zelda experience like? Where they take that? Give me some cool games. Give me Donkey Kong. I want a new experience for Donkey Kong. I want a brand new Mario Kart. I want a new Mario experience, right? We did get Mario Wonder this year, which is a little bit unique when it comes to being a side scroller, right? Which is cool. But at the same time, where's the Mario Odyssey experience we had when Switch launched, right? Give us that. But man, when you think about it, Call of Duty's coming, apparently, to the Switch. How powerful is the Switch 2 to be able to kind of run that game? It's not going to run it like the way the Series X and the PS5 does right now. It's not going to happen. So do they get the true experience? No. What if Nintendo did have that option, though, to have the true experience? Because we did pay $800 for this console. We're Canadian too, so keep that in the back of your mind, right? We're a little bit more expensive over here.
I'm thinking of the legally binding issues with the acquisition, Xbox having to create parity with Nintendo consoles as well. It makes me seem like they must have hit some sort of minimum, and that's it. But relating to this this article initially that begun this conversation is that I think what's happened is VGC has tried to dredge out some information, and it appears that the people at Altec Lensing kind of looked into that a little too far. And they're taking that, it seems like, for granted. We know VGC is 100% correct, but we don't know that yet. We don't know the exact window. And if it is Q3, well, then maybe they technically hit it. But I would not be taking liberties like that with my own company, I tell you that.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Abandon, when they were talking about Kojima and Silent Hill stuff being their game. It's like this is where you guys are heading. Be careful. We've seen this slippery slope before. Dude, I haven't had enough coffee this morning. It's one of those things like, yo, I've seen how this goes. This does not go well. You do not want to bring Nintendo in the conversation if you haven't had the permission to do that. You don't just leak that. If you're trying to partner with them, man, this is a mistake. Do not do that.
Oh.
Here's the thing I've heard about the Switch 2 is that it's really like the Switch 1.2.
Yeah, that seems to be the kind of consensus around. It's not going to break out and do anything new or different, but that's disappointing in one regard.
What are the Joy-Cons like? There's so many questions, right? I'd love to see what we're going to get into. What are the specs? Where does it stand? Where is it compared to where we are now? And this is my worry. Like, when we see new consoles from Xbox and another console from PlayStation, we're going to see something more powerful than what is out there now. Nintendo doesn't do that. Nintendo's never done that. They're always like, well, here's what we have next, which is cool. Clearly, dude, the Switch works, right? It's one of the top selling consoles ever. So, and then the Wii. So when they innovate, but at the same time, it doesn't sound like the Switch 2 could be innovating all that much, but maybe they could surprise us just yet.